Hey, would you all like to have a Coke or some grapefruit
We
juice?
just
Or...
went to the Sonic right before we came.
Matter of fact, when we was at the Sonic when we got a call from you.
From where?
From our office telling us that you were in your office and that you could talk to us at the
All told, there are 751 employees on the ammunition. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All told, there are 751 employees on. Okay, we'll try that again. 3, 2, 1. All told, there are 751 employees on the plant. In 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the plant. Most of those 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the ammunition plant. Only about 45 of them are military personnel. The rest are government employees. But a few years ago, Congress decided that government should get out of business's way. Okay, I almost made it. 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the ammunition plant. Only about 45 of those are military personnel. The rest are government employees. But a few years ago, Congress decided the government should get out of business's way. And they have decided that private contractors might be able to handle some of the support personnel a little more cost efficiently. In 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the ammunition plant. Only about 45 of those are military personnel. The rest are government employees. Well, a few years ago, Congress decided that the government should get out of the way of private enterprise. And 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the ammunition plant. Only about 45 of those are military personnel. The rest are government employees. Well, a few years ago, Congress decided that they should get out of the way of private enterprise. One more time. Okay. 3, 2, 1. There are about 750 employees at the ammunition plant. Only only about 45 of those are military personnel. The rest are government employees. Well, a few years ago, Congress decided that the government should get out of the way of private enterprise. Next.
We can get it with good people. Can you pull those out and make this one? Go.
Well, not punch it, but yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Swing it cable in. Swing it back this way, other way. Didn't miss that.
Go.
When I voted one time in another commission meeting in another subject, there was a call for whether or not I could be impeached. So I'm just saying that, see, we don't, this gets on a lot of other subjects. People who serve in state government are not immune from prosecution if they do something wrong in the action of their job, in the performance of their job. Like, yeah, I have a press secretary. Agencies in state government have public information officers, and it's their responsibility to respond. That's not unusual.
They already have a public relations officer. They've hired somebody specifically to offset these charges.
Well, I don't know if he's been hired or not, and I would presume if you say yes, he has. But I would say that I have no objection. I have no objection to an agency in state government having a public information officer. This is, this is such a massive allegation that they obviously have to have a spokesman. And if they need an additional spokesman, then I have no objection to it.
Will that be paid by state funds?
Well, if the agency hired him, sure. If they have the FTE slot and they have the money, that's just like any other. Let me ask John. John, where's John? John, how many, we were just talking about this morning, how many public information officers, how many agencies have public information officers?
Full-time, 20 to 40.
We were talking about another subject of on public information officers, so it's not unusual.
I understand the public relations office, as we all know, and working for different branches of government. But at the same time, and what we're saying here, it sounds like then that you would also take under consideration if you decide to run for office, of hiring a PR department to come in and run your campaign for you, use the state funds.
I never said that, and that's not
That's
a fair
our
question.
point. Our point is
No.
that we now have let's say a campaign, not a campaign, but a public
I think I've already answered that. I think that's right, and I don't think that's a fair comparison to say this is not a political issue. They're not hire someone. They hired somebody because the press is inundating them with requests. That's fair, and that isn't a fair question to compare that to a political campaign. And you know that my press secretary, if I should be a candidate for re-election, that my campaign press releases will not be handled at state expense.
I realize that. I'm not saying that this has always been the case in the past. But where is that thin line at? When is that thin line drawn? Is where you can use state funds?
You asked me my opinion. I told you I see no objection. So I drew the line on the other side of it. I see no objection to their having a public information officer to explain their side of an allegation. That's common.
He's not a public information officer.
Whatever he is.
He's not talking to us, he's talking to them.
I still don't see any objection to it.
Have you any?
Response to allegations, I see no objection to that whatsoever. If that's the question, I see no objection to that whatsoever.
You said within the agency. This gentleman is not within the agency.
Well, that's a fine line. They can hire a firm if they want to. Other agencies do. A lot of agencies in state government have firms. Tourism and Recreation has an outside agency. Industrial Development, Economic Development has an outside agency, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same answer. Sure. I'm just saying they should have the same opportunity to express themselves because of this unusual amount of requests. It's just normal. They're entitled to tell their story.
Governor, how long did your meeting last with Mr. Rader and Mr. Stockman and what was discussed?
Have you ever met with Mr. Rader? It lasted a long time.
What was discussed?
It was discussed, the opening of how much of the files could be opened. Mr. Rader requested my concurrence and that files be opened, and we agreed that the only way we can open files is to request an Attorney General's opinion. He feels very hampered legally that he can't defend himself, that he's on the front page of every paper in the state, on every radio and television paper station in the state, and he has a very difficult time defending himself and the agency against allegations when he is legally prohibited in his mind from opening the files. And we discussed that.
Did you discuss any part or portion what Mr. Rader might say to the U.S. Senate Subcommittee hearing allegations?
Let me tell you what I've told Mr. Rader every time I've met with him. I just encourage him to make available all information to all legislative, investigatory groups and to respond to all press questions to the best of his ability and with the knowledge that he has and what legally can be done. We've not discussed single issue by issue. We've just said the facts are the facts, and that's all you should discuss. And that was the whole tone of our conversation, is to open the files legally and to respond, because, see, when they don't respond, people say, well, there must be something to it. They're not even denying them. Our frustration at the time when I had my first press conference, how can I deny allegations I've never heard? You know, I came in here at a press conference one day, and you all started asking me about allegations, and I'd never heard them. And I'd asked Gannett for their copy of their allegations, and they said, read the papers. And so how can I respond to those allegations? I mean, how can I respond to those? And I think everybody has to understand that. I'll talk about this as long as y'all want to. I'm through as far as I'm concerned, but I'll answer any questions you have on it.